Hi, my name's Keith Cooper, Northlight Images. Now, you may have seen that Canon have just in the US, not here in the UK yet as far as I know, announced a new series of large format printers. The 600 series, so that's the 2600, 4600, 6600 that replace the current large format 24, 44, 60-inch printers. That's great, you say. Nice to know. What's that got to do with me looking for a replacement for the Canon PRO-1000? Well, you need to go back a bit and see how these printers are made. I've been lucky enough to review Canon large format printers for well over a decade now, looked at them, the details and that, so I can spot the differences between them. So, quick overview of what's new about the, let's say, the 2600. Now, I had PRO-2000 here for quite a while, testing a few years ago, actually here, long before I made the videos. But I tested that, and so I know it pretty well, much inside out. The 2100 is almost identical. So effectively we're getting a new product. What's new in it? In many ways, it's a refresh. There's no new print head in it. Now that's important because the PRO-1000 uses the same print head as the PRO-2000, the PRO-2100. So we've got the same print head available. It's the same chassis, let's say, the 2600, same chassis. There are quite a few changes internally about what goes on that, but it's the same basic chassis. So you won't be able to it'll still have the curved paper path, so you won't have a straight through print path. Depends, useful or not, depending on what you need. But the real key for this one is Canon have introduced a new series of inks. These are the Lucia Pro 2 XY. You'll have to look up the specs for them. But essentially, these inks for the new printers will give a larger gamut, particularly because of changes in how the firmware and the driver work. Deeper colours, darker colours will perform better. It will give better blacks on matte papers. Now, as ever, whether you notice this difference without putting the two next to each other under good lighting with a magnifying glass to have a look at them, I don't know. I am hoping to get a look at this printer sometime in the next few months. Obviously depends on availability and things like that. What other differences are there between, let's say, the 2000, 2100 and the 2600? Well, the inks are supposedly, they give better archival properties, longer lasting, and they are more scratch resistant. So if you're doing media that's going to be handled, it's supposedly better for that. And so there are your key differences. Oh, they've also added an internal light. So much like the P900 from Epson, that's got the light that lights up as it's printed, that's been added, and a few other printers, right? Yeah, that's fair enough. As I say, it is the same chassis. Now, there are cosmetic changes and design changes, all sorts of bits and pieces. These printers, as they've been announced in the States, they are supposedly available end of February. But what does that mean about the PRO-1000? Well, you now have the PRO-1000, which is a 2015-2016 printer. So many people keep, and I get asked this a lot, when's it being replaced? And I have to say up front, I have no information on this that I can give you, or that I have. So there's no unknowns here. I'm not sort of breaking any promises by telling this. This is pure supposition based on experience of testing and using all these printers. The PRO-1000 could be updated to the new inks. I think they would do far more on that, and you will see changes, but relatively modest changes. Now, it's possible that a roll paper option could be introduced. Now, I don't know about this, but I know that the chassis of the PRO-1000, if you look at the internals of it, it looks like it was designed partly with an eye, potentially, into actually having roll paper. One of the reasons we may also see a significant change in the PRO-1000 replacement is that, from what I hear connected with service information, it's not that repairable a model. Now, printers like this, and this is the Epson P5300 I'm testing at the moment, They are designed, larger printers like this, designed so that bits to replace are replaceable. Apparently the PRO-1000 has never been that easy to do major repairs on. Now, that's just hearsay there, something I've been told by somebody I think who knows what they're talking about. So it would suggest that we'll see something different. I don't think we'll see it anytime really soon, but seeing the new Canon larger format printers with the new ink set appearing has upped my probability of there being a PRO-1000 replacement this year sometime. I have no idea when. Now, what else in printer world is there? Well, obviously P5300 I'm testing here, but the big news is obviously the Canon the new ink set, and that's the real key to it. It's a new ink set. Don't get too hung up on all the charts and marketing materials you'll see. It takes quite a lot for an ink set to make visible differences to prints at most levels. So you're not going to see much there. For example, I just see differences in papers. So I've just had, and this is something I'm just testing, just arrived today. I've got some Hahnemuhle Bamboo Gloss Baryta paper, 17-inch roll of that. And I have some Hahnemuhle Fine Art Matte Baryta. And there's also the sustainable luster or satin photo paper there as well. Some new papers I've got to test, which I'll be doing some stuff on this. But I thought people would be interested in what does the new Canon announcement say about there being a PRO-1000 update. I'd say it increases the reliability, the chances of there being such an update, and perhaps gives us a few clues if you look at what new features are of the printers that you see, the large format. And I'll put links in the notes to this to follow for that, but that at least gives an indication of where we might be heading. Could be entirely wrong, there could be something entirely new. But printer companies don't work like that. Change tends to be incremental. Even if the outside of the box looks different, quite often what's inside hasn't changed much. So keep an eye on inks and print heads. They're the two things that really give you the clues. If you've got any questions, please do ask. I said this is just a quick update on things. And if I have any more information, such as being able to test any of the new printers, I'll certainly let you know about it. Please do subscribe to the channel. It is much appreciated. And as I say, ask away if you've got any questions. I'm curious myself. Thank you.